You know, after wearing pink to Barbie, I'm kind of getting used to being color-coded to the movies I'm seeing in the theaters. I wore green today. Guess what movie I saw? Radical.
Hey, welcome to the Cinefanatics, dude. My name's Robert Adams.
Shrek. I saw Shrek.
Is that what that reminded you of? Or?
Yeah, sorry. I'm Chris Adams.
What's going on, y'all? We are fresh out of the theater from seeing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's
Mutant Mayhem.
That's actually what I saw. Yeah.
It's a very long title. This is a spoiler-free review, so no spoiling anything.
That's a long title. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 7 Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, part 1.
Part 1.
Seriously. Just reading the book at the marquee basically is what we're doing now. Yeah, so we just got out of seeing Ninja Turtles, and we have a couple of thoughts on this.
A few of them.
Yeah, before we get started, make sure you drop a like down below. Also, comment your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down below as well. Just because we're going to give our opinions, you may or may not agree with them. Let's hear yours. No one's actually wrong on this. It's just our opinions. Anyways, yeah, overall, thought it was okay. Thought it was fun. It was a good Ninja Turtle time at the theater. There's definitely some things about this I want to start off with, like, obviously the animation. This is kind of feeding off of like Mitchell's versus the Machines, and most definitely the one that everyone's claiming is the Spider-Verse movies. It definitely has that kind of animation style. This one seems a little bit more street art.
Yeah, this one's a little bit more like urban level street, kind of graffiti sketch kind of art. It's definitely more Mitchell's versus the Machines, which I believe it's the same studio.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect, but yeah, it's definitely a little bit more grittier, more street level, kind of dirty, grimy art style.
Which makes sense with, I think, like the vibe of the whole movie. I mean, the soundtrack is very like 90s to
Hip-hop.
2000s hip-hop, street, with a big portion of the movie of Four Non-Blondes, What's Up? But otherwise, yeah, it's very like hip-hop heavy. Yeah, I know. That song does not leave your head for like days after you hear it. So, good luck, everyone.
I was He-Man for those of you playing at home.
You were He-Man?
Yeah.
That's great. I think it's that animation. Like, I'm open to this animation just because Spider-Verse does such a good job with it.
Yeah.
But this one I feel like was a little too off-putting at times. Namely, like anything really involving Superfly. It's just really hard to, like, where's your eye at? Especially like later on in the movie, he gets harder and harder to try to like determine, like, what am I looking at? Is that his nose or an antennae or something that's not child friendly? Like,
it's probably not the last thing, considering this is a movie that's definitely geared more for a younger audience.
Yeah, while still playing up, kind of like in our out of the theater reaction, I was talking about how I loved Ninja Turtles like fresh, like back in the 80s and stuff.
Yeah.
And it still plays. If you are a longtime Ninja Turtle fan, there's definitely some good homages in this. I wouldn't say it's just necessarily straight for kids, but it does kind of like help out and give you some.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference kind of between you and me, and I think this is where a lot of people might find our review interesting, hopefully. You are coming from the vantage point of growing up with the Ninja Turtles back in the 80s into the 90s. Mm-hmm. I've never really been that into the Ninja Turtles. I've seen a few movies here and there. I definitely haven't watched through all of the Ninja Turtle movies, all of the old ones. I definitely haven't seen the newer ones that were produced by Michael Bay. There's just a lot of Ninja Turtle history that I have missed, but I do know enough to have some interest of some sort into seeing this movie. So I think that's going to be the interesting thing between the two of us is, like, you're going to come from the how did this movie play to people who love the Ninja Turtles? I'm going to come from the just how was the movie?
Yeah. Overall, I mean, the movie is fine movie-wise, I feel like. Yes, it is. It does have a lot of, like, geared for kids.
There's definitely a lot of Gen Z humor sprinkled in there, a lot of like the TikTok generation essentially.
Yeah.
And God, I sound old saying that. I like TikTok. I think there's some cool, fun stuff on TikTok.
I like the talks that tick.
I like that TikTok that you whippersnappers or something. No.
I love giving all our personal information to a foreign country. Oh, wait, no.
Wow.
Never mind.
Wow. No, but like, there's definitely stuff that's geared for that generation. They were definitely playing up for that age group.
Yeah.
But there's also some like nuggets and Easter eggs that are geared for everybody who's a little bit older, who's been watching the Ninja Turtles or reading the comics or all that. So
Yeah, like when they're in the trailer where they're talking to April, they're at a place called The Laird, which obviously is one of the creators of Ninja Turtles. I think the high school is like Eastman High.
Yeah, obviously.
So like, Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman.
Yep.
Almost couldn't think of their names, even though they've been a big part of my life. But yeah, like little nods and stuff like that are thrown in there, so it does appreciate the long-time Turtle fans. But also, again, like some of the animation, I think, is probably the number one thing that was just off-putting for me. Why some of these characters were like shorter than others, like like Genghis Frog was tiny instead of like more of a full-grown. I know they established like the ages and they grow and stuff.
But it's also like a stylistic choice, I think, between the different animals and how they mutated.
I'm just used to everyone as humanoid for the most part.
And they're also trying to set themselves apart from what came before. You want to have like a unique visual style of some sort, so people are remembering your movie separate from the pack. Mm-hmm. So there's that aspect. I know a lot of these characters haven't been in movies yet either, so there's that too. But overall, like, I wouldn't say I had a problem with the animation. I think the animation was just fine. It was kind of what I expected going in. It's definitely still very Mitchell's versus the Machines, which if you haven't seen that movie, highly recommend. It's a very, very well done animated movie. I believe it's on Netflix. So.
I love that movie. That was so good.
But because of that movie, I did have maybe a slightly higher expectation going into this film that the story, the fun time that I was going to have with the Ninja Turtles was going to be more on the same level of like the Mitchells versus the Machines. And in my opinion, I don't think it met those expectations. I think for some people out there, they might catch that vibe from it. I did not. That's something they mentioned in the movie, catching vibes.
Yeah. Dude, you catching vibes?
Catching vibes. I didn't get that feeling. I felt like if I was to compare the two movies, which, you don't necessarily always have to do that, but just in the perspective that they were made by the same studio, if I were to compare them, I find Mitchell's versus the Machines to be a much better, much more cohesive film that really had a grand plan to it. Whereas this just felt like, hey, you know these characters, it's the Ninja Turtles. Come hang out with the Ninja Turtles. Which isn't a bad thing. Some people want to do that. That just didn't connect with me as much.
Yeah. I would say for me, I know like some of the positive I want to talk about. The biggest positive of this movie is they finally, Seth Rogen in his infinite wisdom, because of stuff that is legal now in California and not in Texas,
where we are, for those who don't know.
Yeah. One of the things that he decided was to push the fact that these are teenagers. That hasn't really been done. Maybe like the newest Nickelodeon TV show cartoon does it. I don't know. I don't watch it. But all the Ninja Turtle stuff I've ever seen, the original 80s cartoon, the 2003 cartoon, and then the movies, never really have pushed teenagers. They've always just been like, yeah, we'll call them teenagers, but let's just think of them as adults. Okay, cool, whatever. And I never really got a full like teenager vibe off of them.
Yeah.
We keep using that word. But yeah, I never got that until this movie, and I was like, wait, that was done like very well. I love the fact that they actually made them teenagers with a teenage intellect, a teenage way of thinking.
It was very different too, because like they sounded like kids to me.
Especially Donnie.
Yeah, which here's the thing. I'm in my 30s. You're
much older than that.
You're older than me. What a teenager sounds like nowadays probably does sound like a kid to me, to be honest.
I think wasn't there even like a bit in there where like Leonardo's voice cracked when he was talking?
Apparently, they're going through puberty as turtles.
Yeah, it's like, let's not, like, I don't want to open that bag, but
Yeah.
apparently that's a thing. Another positive, the voice cast for this. It's a huge voice cast.
Yeah.
And some of the choices are a little weird. Why is Rose Byrne Leatherhead? The crocodile alligator from the original Ninja Turtles cartoon that always talked with a Louisiana stereotypical accent, I do declare.
Yeah, but this time it was Rose Byrne doing what I believe sounded like an Australian accent.
Yeah, she was going more Australian. Apparently Scumbug was a woman. Like, I know some of these, I'm just highlighting why they swapped the genders, which really doesn't matter, but it is a little weird in some cases. Yeah, like, just some of the choices are strange, but I'm game for it, I guess.
Yeah, that leads me to what I believe to be the highlight of a movie that I otherwise was just on, and that is Post Malone as Ray Fillet and Paul Rudd as Mondo Gekko.
Yeah, Paul Rudd is so good. Like, I want to see the footage of Paul Rudd in the booth or whatever doing his.
I can
recording
see him
it in front of.
Hey, dude!
Hey,
I can see
dudes!
him now. Like you, Paul Rudd. You can't dislike Paul Rudd. It's impossible to dislike Paul Rudd, and his character in this movie, I think, was a highlight for me.
Yeah. So yeah, the voice acting just absolutely amazing. The other one I really like the positive on is the music. Both in the choices of songs that played, like during a couple of montages. I already was talking about the Four Non-Blondes, What's Up, that's going to get stuck in your head. There's a couple other songs I don't really want to spoil that play during a couple of montages in this movie, and they're great. They're anywhere from like just some great like classic 90s hip hop needle drops to like a lot of like good like classic 80s feeling. There's one in particular that if you're a fan of like really good classic 80s movies, you're going to recognize and you're going to be like, yes, that is so good. But not only just the songs that they use, but the score. This was another one of those movies that was scored by Trent Reznor and Atticus Rose.
That makes sense.
They did phenomenal. There's a synth score to this that, like, the second I heard the synth drop, I was immediately taken back to the 80s. Very, very similar to the kind of vibe that you get off of the opening theme to Stranger Things. It has that feel to it, and I love it. That is a time capsule of my life, just immediately launching me back to that time.
It's almost as if like the 80s was handing him flowers, which is why he said Atticus Rose instead of Atticus Ross.
Good point. Yeah, we're not perfect over here on the Cinefanatics. We're just big fans of movies, and sometimes we might get names wrong.
Were you finished writing the comment before I called it out? Were you?
Actually, his name is
Okay. But yeah, like I loved it, and I thought like this is gonna be one of those like I probably am gonna go listen to like the soundtrack of this, the score for it, just because like it's great. It was great music. Well, very well done.
Yeah, so I mean overall, like this movie as a whole, I feel like there's a lot to love, I guess, if you are like a big Ninja Turtle fan. For all the rest of us who are just like it's Ninja Turtles, it's an animated movie, kind of like having the Spider-Verse thing in your mind, like am I going to enjoy this on the same level I enjoy Spider-Verse? If it's up to my opinion, now this is my opinion, maybe not be your opinion, but my opinion, no, this does not hold a candle to either Spider-Verse movie whatsoever.
No.
And again, we're doing the comparing movies thing. You don't necessarily have to do that, but just kind of getting in perspective for some of y'all out there who kind of connect a little bit easier that way.
Everyone else is comparing it to Spider-Verse, so we might as well too.
It's just helping people who connect that way a little bit better.
Yeah.
I was very meh on it. There's some good storytelling. It's another like decent telling of the Ninja Turtles origin, giving them a little bit more humanity, I think.
Sort of. Yeah.
Well, sort of, yeah. Giving a little bit more humanity, I think, to their plight to becoming heroes and what that looks like specifically. But outside of that, it's definitely a movie that has a target audience that I don't feel like I fell into. And therefore, while I did laugh at some moments and enjoy some moments, it just wasn't entirely for me.
Yeah, I think the thing for me is whenever I'm watching anything Ninja Turtles related, whenever they come out with a new movie, I'm wanting them to nail the basics first. I do like a good classic. Give me the 4 Turtles, Splinter, April. I want them fighting Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady. If you want to throw Krang in there, I know Krang was like more of a product just of the 80s cartoon, 90s. A lot of stuff like that, just Eastman and Laird did not really like in the beginning stages of the Ninja Turtles and their popularity. So like I want a lot of that. We don't get that in this movie. I feel like this movie does set up obviously sequels, and I feel like in sequels we may get something closer to that.
Possibly.
The foot soldiers and stuff. I'm not revealing anything, but I would like to see it get closer to that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's really where my opinion on this potential start of a series may swap. And I may be like all for it once I see the traditional Ninja Turtles fighting Shredder and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If they go that route.
Yeah. So, ratings.
I mean, the story I just feel like it was a little too convoluted out there, and I think that's probably
Interesting.
that and the
I thought it was basic.
Yeah, like I don't mean like convoluted that it's hard to understand. I just think it was a little. It is basic. Yeah, that does actually sound like a good term.
I changed his mind.
I like his term.
You watched it in real time. I flipped the script on him. Uno reverse.
But I get what it was trying to do. It did want to set up a basic idea, just because. It does look like it's probably going to start a whole new franchise. Let's get that out of the way, nail the basic story, introduce these characters in this new world, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Because of that, I don't know. I'll probably give it like, I'm going to go like probably 5.5.
Oh, I was waiting on bated breath. I was like,
yeah, I wanted to say 6, but I was like,
if you want to say 6, say 6.
I don't know if I want to give it the full 6. I'm going to go 5. I'm going to go 5.5.
Go all the way.
It's fun. It definitely has a lot of stuff. Good nods if you are a long-term fan of the Ninja Turtles, but I don't know. It just didn't connect with me. Maybe I need to watch it again. Or again, definitely as another sequel comes out, maybe my mind will change on it. But yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat. Obviously, I'm not as high on it, which is weird that you said 5.5 because I'm giving it just a middle of the road 5, just a solid even 5 here. It's got some cute stuff in it. It's got some good humor intersprinkled in there, but overall, it just wasn't all the way for me. I think it's definitely, and this is where I'm gonna be fair. This is where I'm gonna be really fair. I think it's definitely for its audience. There is an audience for this movie, and I think it's 100% for them. All the way, and I think
whichever audience it is, it's for you.
Yeah, I think that audience is going to love it. But if you've listened to us and you feel kind of along the same lines in terms of how you would approach movies as we do, you might find that this movie might not be for you. It might be for somebody else. If you're listening to us and you're thinking we're a bunch of old idiots who don't know what we're talking about, this movie might be for you.
Nicely worded.
So, I'm giving it a 5. It's not my cup of tea or slice of pizza.
Yeah, anyways. That is going to do it for our review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Please make your next movie a shorter title. Thank you. What did you think of it? Again, let us know down below in the comments. While you're down there, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Yeah, granted, we didn't like this movie, and maybe you did, but I mean, hey, we're going to give you an honest opinion here. Obviously, we're not paid for this, so...
We're not Paramount shills.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever said those words together?
I don't know, but they can't even pay their own writers and actors at this point, so they're not even handing out money to YouTubers, especially little old us. Pay your people is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, thank you for watching. We very much appreciate each and every one of you, your views and everything. You're helping us grow just by watching us, so thank you for that. Again, make sure you follow us on social medias. We are on Instagram and whatever that other one that used to be a blue bird. I don't know what exactly we're supposed to call it, but...
You know, Twitter.
You can follow us on those social medias. We are at The Cinefanatics. You can also follow me personally at Robert Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and YouTube.com/@RobertAdamsMLP.
I really don't want to say X. You can follow me also at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/ChrisAdamsMLP.
Anyways, that's going to do it for this review. Again, thank you for watching. We will see you on the next one. Cowabunga, everyone. Just cowabunga. I'm going to leave it at that.
I really want some pizza.
Yeah. Ooh, that does sound radical.